Senator Brannigan, Representative Perry, and the honorable members of this Health and Human Services Committee, this young lady was correct. The industry has done their homework on this issue. In 1999, the federal government was presented with the results of a 6-year, $25 million industry-funded study with government involvement regarding cell phones and health effects under the WTR, set up by the CTIA, Study of Telecommunications Industry Association. Results of these studies culminated in doubling of brain cancer, micronuclei in blood, which are the beginnings of cancer in the cell, and genetic damage in the cells. I'm reading fast because I have to find it. It was recommended by the head of the WTR, Dr. George Harlow, that further studies be conducted and that the public be notified of the findings. Industry executives, including CTIA, AT&T, Verizon, and Sprint, to name just a few, and federal government agencies, including RF Interagency Working Group, consisting of FDA, FCC, EPA, and NIOSH, were all notified of these findings. In response to these findings, instead of notifying the public of the dangers and continuing the studies beyond the 6-year mark, as was suggested by Dr. Carlo, funding was cut off and the program was dissolved. The public was left completely in the dark, and the proliferation of cell phones amongst the general population exploded without any notification of these serious health findings. The FDA and FCC to this day make no mention of these serious health findings from the studies they were presented with on their websites from industry. Neither do the CTIA nor any other industry body. They also do not make mention of any of the numerous studies over the past decade relating directly to cell phones and brain cancer, which show an obvious increase, whether industry or non-industry funded study. Nor do they make mention of the over 2,000 peer-reviewed studies showing biological effects from non-ionizing radiation. A warning label on cell phones at the state level is necessary because the federal level has proven to be inept at best and concealing evidence of very serious harm at worst. Okay, so this gentleman worked for the FCC and now works for CTIA, which is consistent with what I found, which is in a brain cancer lawsuit against Motorola, the FCC filed an amicus brief with the court in favor of Motorola. This is considered very unusual behavior for a government agency to engage in. The World Health Organization EMF project is funded by industry with a long history of selection bias regarding the studies on this issue. Cost of a brain tumor to the state. Being as a cost of a brain tumor for the first year of care only is approximately $250,000, and I have been apprised that is a very low estimate for first year of care, not including lifetime follow-up appointments and possible lifetime disablement from the brain tumor, the cost of which is partially picked up by the state as approximately 20% are uninsured. If nothing else, avoidance of spending extraneous money in medical costs from cell phone-induced brain tumors should be reason enough for the warning label. And in the packet I've distributed, we have the court citing where it states that the state can take care of itself regarding health effects from cell phones and is not preempted as the cell tower is preempted. I have one more statement on non-ionizing radiation. Non-ionizing radiation is used both in our military as a weapon and on the battlefield and by our doctors in medicine to heal. How can anyone possibly say it has no effects on cells? A warning label at the state level is the proper action, as even the most current court case I already told you that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Sorry.